Welcome. I'm Marianne Saylor, Director of the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. Today's training will orient you to the new look and feel of the WCAIS screens, which have undergone digital transformation. In 2020, the Bureau began the WCAIS Digital Transformation Project to update the technology platform of WCAIS and improve the user experience. That project is now continuing with more screens being transformed to the new platform. We are confident that you will find it easier and quicker to navigate the transformed screens. The digital transformation project will eventually encompass all of WCAIS. We hope your experience with these screens will leave you excited for the rest of the transformation. Thank you, and I will now turn things over to the WCAIS training team.
Thank you, Marianne. First, I will provide an overview of digital transformation. We will then do a deep dive on a few of the impacted screens and have a few demonstrations to showcase the new user experience. To conclude, we will review important reminders and next steps. Up first is the digital transformation overview. When the digitally transformed screens go live, only certain screens will have a different look and feel. The rest of the screens in WCAIS will remain unchanged. The impacted sections include claims, compliance, electronic data interchange, occupational disease claims, supersedious fund reimbursement, and occupational disease and supersedious fund reimbursement payments. The digitally transformed screens will primarily be accessed through the Search Claim screen by navigating to Search, Search Matter, then Claim on the WCAIS menu bar. If you access the claim summary through the My Claims links on the dashboard or by using the Enhanced Search in the upper right corner, the screens will continue to display with the current design. There are new screen functions, buttons, and icons that will be universal across all digitally transformed screens. We will show these during our demonstration later in this session. At the top of each screen, you will see a green button that will allow you to expand or collapse the WCAIS menu. Additionally, the Enhanced Search section will continue to be available. Currently, a green Go button would be pressed to use Enhanced Search. Now you can enter information and then press the magnifying glass icon. Furthermore, you will have options to log out and a question icon to access the Customer Service Center. Buttons are now colored to indicate the type of response you can expect when it is pressed. They are also strategically located to make tasks more intuitive to complete. A blue arrow button will now display in the bottom right when you scroll to the bottom of the screen. Pressing this button will automatically scroll you to the top of the screen. The Supersedious Fund Reimbursement application will display a progress bar which will show which sections have been completed, which section you are currently on, or which sections are not yet started. The use of icons will increase to allow users to quickly view a screen and select the correct action. As an example of the look and feel you can expect in the new screens, when the Upload Document button is pressed, it will now display an Upload Document pop-up window. You will notice new colors, fonts, and icons have been added to give WCAIS a refreshed look and feel. As Internet Explorer is no longer supported by Microsoft, using a different internet browser will allow for optimal performance of the WCAIS application, particularly the new digitally transformed screens. When accessing WCAIS, please use either Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Mozilla Firefox. Also, due to the flexible design that will adjust to your browser size, you may find it beneficial to zoom in or out on the digitally transformed screens to be able to see more information on the screen. Also, this could allow you to increase the font size for easier reading. There are various ways to zoom in or out, but a few options include pressing the Control key and then the plus or minus key on a PC. Similarly, on an Apple keyboard, you may press the Command key and the plus or minus key. Another option to adjust the zoom is to access the browser settings. Press the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of the browser to display the settings menu. Then use the zoom menu item. At this time, we will now go through some of the digitally transformed screens.
The first screen we'll look at is the claim summary. Notice that some overall layout changes have been made. The WCAIS menu is now located in the left-hand side, so it can be accessed anytime while scrolling through a screen. If you wish to collapse the menu, the green button with 3 lines in the upper left will allow you to collapse the menu so only the icons are visible. Moving across the top of the screen, the WCAIS logo or the home menu item can now be pressed to navigate back to the WCAIS dashboard. The arrow next to the user's name can be selected to log out of WCAIS. Additionally, the Customer Service Center can be accessed by pressing the question mark icon in the upper right. The matter information continues to display at the top of the screen and now is contained in the light blue box. This section can be collapsed by pressing the arrow underneath it. The same tabs will continue to display, but now they will be laid out horizontally across the screen. Now, let's take a look at the notification of suspension or modification screen. Here, we're going to look at the buttons that will display. Blue buttons indicate that an additional task can be completed using that button. Often, these actions will display a pop-up window, as with the Upload Document button. It will navigate to a separate screen to complete a task, or in this case, the button is used to calculate the new partial compensation rate. The green button is the button that must be pressed to navigate to the next screen. It may display continue, submit, upload, or other similar actions. The gray buttons, as seen on the left, are used to clear information entered on the screen. They may navigate back to a previous screen or cancel. These buttons have been moved to the left of the screen to avoid losing any previously entered information by accidentally pressing one of the buttons. Next, let's take a look at a few view profile screens. Here on the attorney profile, you can see that the tabs on each screen do not change, only the location of those tabs. Also, an eye icon displays near certain sections or fields. If pressed, the icon will display a pop-up which provides information about that section or field. To collapse the pop-up, press the icon a second time. Another new feature is the blue arrow in the bottom right. When scrolling down on any screen, a blue arrow will display. When the button is pressed, you'll be scrolled all the way to the top of the screen. This will help make it easier to move around the new screens. Our next screen displays an insurer profile. Two items to point out on this screen are that the grid can be sorted by any of the columns which display arrows. The column that the grid is sorted by will have a single-sided arrow and will point up or down to indicate that the column is sorted in ascending or descending order. In certain screens, icons will now display to allow an action to be performed. Here, the View icon will allow you to view the proof of payment for that row. If you hover over that action, the description of that action will display. Next, we'll look at the Supersedious Fund Reimbursement application. Next to some of the fields, you'll see a red indicator that displays the word required. If these fields are not completed prior to submitting, either an error message will display or the field itself will show a red outline. Also, fields which are editable will be white, whereas read-only fields will be gray. On the second screen of the application, you can see that the matter information section has been collapsed to show less information and provide more room to work. Also, a progress bar displays to indicate the status of each section. The check mark indicates that a section is complete. The blue circle means you are currently working on that section, and the gray circle means that section has not yet been started. In the Actions column of the Payment Details grid, you'll see the Edit and Delete icons will display. At the bottom, in the Document Type column, the words display in blue with an underline. You can press this link to view and download the uploaded document. If you navigate to a digitally transformed screen, the Enhanced Search function in the upper right corner will also be digitally transformed. It's going to function the same way as it currently does, but it'll have an updated look and feel. So for instance, selecting an item from the drop-down menu in the upper left allows you to select the type of matter you will search for. Information may be entered either into the search field at the top, or by pressing the Show Advanced Search for Claim link, you'll display additional search options. And last, you'll notice that the calendar icon will display a date selection pop-up. The green circle indicates the current date, and the blue circle will indicate the selected date. Now, we'll go through a few demonstrations to show the new functionality. So I'm currently logged in as an attorney. We're starting out here on the dashboard, and as you can see, the dashboard currently has the same look and feel as you would see right now within WCAIS. And as we mentioned, there are only a few select ways to be able to access digitally transformed screens at this time. So for instance, if you used the enhanced search function on the dashboard or used a My Claims link, you would still see the claim summary as it currently displays within WCAIS. However, if we go to Search, Search Matter, and Claim, then you can see that the search claim screen has a totally new look and feel, different layout, colors, fonts. So let's zoom in and talk about a couple of these elements. So first, you can see that on the left-hand side is where the menu now displays. And if you wish to collapse that menu, you can press this green button and it'll collapse it so you're only seeing the icons within that menu. I'll expand it again so we can see the Home button. Previously, you had a Dashboard button, but now if you select the Home menu item, or if you press the WCAIS logo, you will be navigated back to the dashboard. If you want to log out, you can select this down arrow and press the Log Out button. And if you wish to access the Customer Service Center, this question mark icon will now display the Customer Service Center drop-down menu. The Enhanced Search displays in the upper right here. Previously, you had a green Go button that once you typed in your matter information, you would press a green Go button. Now it displays this magnifying glass icon. Also, with the new look and feel, it's a flexible design. So if you want to zoom in, so I'm pressing Control and plus right now, the design will move with you. And then if you zoom out, then it'll be flexible to fit your browser size. So in case you want the font to be larger, you can use that to be able to adjust the look and feel. Let's take a look at the Search Claim section of the screen. Currently, on the Search Claim screen, you would see 3 different search types, but you can only enter information within one of those search types at a time. Now, instead of seeing all 3 of those at one time, you'll see a drop-down menu that will provide these 3 different search types of matter information, claimant information, or other information. So if I clicked over to the claimant information, the new fields would display in order to allow you to search by claimant information. I'm going to go back to the matter information option and type in my claim ID. Type it in and press search. And that'll cause it to display in the search results. And then I will select the blue underlined text in the claim number column in order to access the claim summary. So you'll notice that the matter information continues to display at the top here in this light blue box. And a couple of things you can do to be able to view more or less information within the claim summary. There is a blue plus icon that if I hover over, it says show details. So if I select it, you're going to be able to see additional details about this claim. But if you wish to collapse it, you can press the minus icon and it will collapse and show fewer details. And in addition, there is this up arrow that whenever I press it, it's going to collapse it so you're only seeing the claim number and no other information. So that'll give you a little more room to work, and so that claim information isn't taking up as much space. You're also going to notice as we scroll down that the tabs are going horizontally across the screen. Previously, they displayed on the left. And the exact same tabs display as they currently do. It's just the location that's going to be changing. Also, in each of these columns, you see there's an up and down arrow in each of them, and that indicates that you are able to sort by that column. And if I press it, so I press the claim status arrow, and so it turns to a single-sided arrow to indicate that you are sorting by that column. Also, if I scroll down, we're going to notice a few things that are a little bit different from how it currently functions. On the left-hand side, we still have access to this menu because it scrolls with us. And also up along the top, we still have access to the enhanced search functionality. So you can change screens from wherever you are on the specific screen. And then we also have this blue up arrow. So if I press that, I'm going to press it now, that'll scroll you all the way to the top of the screen. So just a couple of new features that will allow you to move around each screen a little bit quicker. Now I'm going to navigate to the Interested Parties tab. And from here, I'm going to scroll down to the Interested Parties grid and select the defendant's attorney's name. This will allow us to see the View Attorney screen. So a couple of things to note on this screen is you're going to see that all of the fields are gray, and a gray field indicates that it is read-only, so you're unable to edit the fields on this screen. Also, there is an eye icon, and so if I press that eye icon, it will provide additional information about the field that it is next to. And in order to collapse that, you just press the icon one more time. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and press the back button, and we're going to navigate back to the claim summary. Next, let's go to the SFR Application tab. And then I'm going to select the Submit SFR Application link. So something you're going to notice right off the bat on the SFR application is you have this new progress bar at the top. And so if you see this blue circle that is displaying over select request, that indicates we're on the select request screen of the application. And then the fact that these other fields other circles are gray means that we have not yet filled out information on those screens. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the fields on this screen. I'm going to select the radio button for the insurer. And then in order to fill out the date on each of these fields, we're going to select the calendar icon, and then the green button displays to show what the current date is. But if you press another date, it'll display in blue, and then will display within your field. And then to access the drop-down menu, I can select this down arrow. And that'll give me the ability to select a petition. And then we're going to fill out a couple of additional date fields here. So I'm going to select the date that it was filed on, the termination date, and then I'm going to select the drop-down arrow to indicate that the request was granted, and then the date that it was granted on. And then also going to select the date that it was continued the payment until. And then you're going to note that these some of these fields have a red required next to them. And so that means that those fields are mandatory in order to complete the screen. I'm going to select no for the potential existing third-party action. And just to note here, this field is white, which means it's editable, whereas this field is gray, which means that it is read-only. There's no information that you can add in there. And then in our final two, I'm going to enter the judge name and the date. Next, I'm going to select Save and Continue. And then I'll press the OK to allow it to continue to the next screen. So to point out, because we completed the Select Request section, it's going to display with a green check mark. And then the one that we're on right now is compensation information, so it's showing in blue, and we haven't started preview or confirmation, so they are both in gray. Next, I'm going to fill out the payment details, and a couple of things we're going to talk about on this screen are the buttons that will display. So we'll see a blue Add Payment Details button, as well as a blue Upload Document button. As we discussed before, whenever you see a blue button, that indicates that there is a task that you have to complete in the middle of the screen. However, it's not the button that you're pressing in order to complete the screen. So here I'm at the Enter Payment Details screen, and I'm going to select the compensation type, the start date, the end date, and the amount requested. And then I'm going to select Save and Continue. And there the payment details display within the grid, and I'm gonna hover over the actions here. So if I hover over the pencil icon, it displays Edit. If I hover over the trash can icon, it displays Delete. Now let's upload a document. So I'm going to select the Upload Document button, and then I'm going to need to select a document type. I'm going to choose Proof of Payment. And then I am going to choose my proof of payment document and press open, and then select the upload button. And then one more document, I select upload document again, select supporting documents. I'm going to pick browse in order to access my documents, and then select the supporting documents PDF, and then open and upload. And you'll see here that the under the document type column, each of these documents displays with in blue with a hyperlink, and that indicates that if you click it, you're going to be able to view those documents. And then scrolling all the way to the bottom, we discussed a little bit earlier about the blue buttons. So let's now take a look at these green and gray buttons. So we see our green button on this screen says Save and Continue to Preview. So that is the button that you're going to use to complete this page and move on to the next one. And then our gray buttons display back and cancel. So that would be anything that would remove information from the page, stop the completion of the application, and return you to the previous screen. Thank you so much for watching the demonstrations. Now we'll wrap up our time with some important reminders.
The PowerPoint presentation we reviewed during the session was distributed via email and includes additional reference slides. In addition, a user experience guide was distributed via email to provide a quick reference for WCAIS users to better understand the new look and feel of the digitally transformed screens. Please review both the presentation and the user experience guide when your schedule permits. As a reminder, the screens will be digitally transformed in March of 2022. If you have questions regarding WCAIS digital transformation or the new screens, please contact the BWC helpline for assistance.